Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Barakathum, peace, blessings, salutations to the hopefully elect, man. And this is just real quick. I'm just watching a series of events going on, as it's told we are to be on our watch, all right? Because very interesting times we are living in, and the devil is definitely, he's working, he's up to something, so that's why, again, being on the watch, being on our watch, so that day doesn't catch us as a thief in the night. Real quick, I'm gonna get this if I can find it. I'm going to get this in Micah chapter 2, starting at verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand." All right, and being that, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has given rulership over to Esau Edom right now, so they can pretty much do whatever they want and pretty much get away with it because this is their time, and being that this is their time and their time is coming to an end, the times of the Gentiles is being fulfilled. All right, they're coming to the end of their time, their rulership, and pretty much, amen, he's going to do everything in his power to stay in power, to keep the position that he's got. All right, he's going to go out swinging because pretty much the walls are closing in on him, man, and he knows it, he sees it. All right, and this is why, you got a lot of enchantments going on right now, man. All type of distractions, and spells and rituals, all type of stuff is going on that these elites, like I said, because they rely on their enchantments, but pretty much, man, them spells they're wearing off. All right, they're not as potent as they were before. All right, but nevertheless, like I said, things are ramping up. This devil is definitely at work. All right, and that's why I read this. I'm gonna read it again. "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds." So pretty much, because these devils, they can't sleep without devising iniquity, man, just wickedness, and it says when the morning is light, they practice it. So they can't go to bed without, plotting wickedness, and they wake up plotting wickedness. It's just a 24/7 around the clock thing for them. And this is why, we got to be on our P's and Q's and, around the clock in righteousness. All right, because it's a war going on right now, man, between the elites on the left hand and the elites on the right hand. All right, it's a war going on. All right, it says because it is in the power of their hand. All right, so with that being said, like I said, I'm just going to speak on a few things, some current events, because like I said, this devil is definitely up to something. But this video here by the Common Sense Show, which is this guy, his name is Dave Hodges, done videos on him, the information that he's brought up before, as well as other brothers, because a lot of these guys, they bring out useful information that can be filtered through the scripture. So, I saw this video here, right? The title says, "You won't believe what the Dems want to do to our troops." So I'm going to play this video.
On the link at the description box, and the coupon code to get a hefty 25% off is Dave25. The Democrats are putting together a proposal they're going to introduce to a committee. and I've seen a copy of it. It's scary, scary, scary. They're proposing that when military people leave the service, they will not be allowed to have firearms. Oh, not that they will be prevented from taking their M16s or their mortars into retirement with them. No, no. Have any kind of guns. They all have PTSD. They're depressed. They can't be trusted with guns. This is what they're saying. That's the rhetoric. Do you know what's interesting? Obama administration practiced this kind of a scenario in what was called Jade Helm 16. You may recall that. A lot of literature written on that. Jade Helm 16 is also referred to as UX. And in Texas, particularly in places like Bastrop, Texas, they would conduct drills in which they were predicated on the fact that disaffected ex-military, this is a quote, disaffected ex-military personnel were rising up and had to be dealt with. Is the government going to do something so bad that they feel that the ex-military is going to try to come to the rescue of the country? Because that Jade Helm drill said so. A lot of people agreed with that conclusion. And now we're looking at this bill coming into Congress. We should be asking lots and lots of questions. That's it for the Common Sense.
So yeah. So it appears that, these Democrats, man, which, it's pretty much no secret. They want to come after their guns, take the guns away from the people. But you see, man, because again, going back to these elites, when it comes to the ushering in of this, 666, right? This Build Back Better, right? Agenda. They know they're going to get a lot of kickback. All right, they know that people are going to resist, and they're prepared for it, right? So, like I said, this is why, it's no secret that they want to come after their guns, because, throughout this whole campaign with the Vanessa, because basically the elites, man, they wage war. They declared war against, American citizens. And you see a lot of these ex-military guys, these veterans and whatnot, and even those that are currently serving, because hey, when it comes to these elites, man, they don't care about anyone but themselves, man. They're in it to fulfill their own bellies. All right. Here these guys thinking that they went to, fight for their country and, things like that, when they were really doing the bidding of the elites. All right. But coming to find out that, like I said, they don't give a damn about these people. These people, they put their lives on the line and, so on and so forth. They fought for this country. And here it is with the whole Vanessa campaign. Those that have served and those that are currently serving, if they don't take the Vanessa, they can lose all their benefits, dishonorable charges and, all that type of stuff. Basically they're going to get thrown under the bus. And a lot of these guys that have served and are currently serving, man, they're not with that. So you see, man, like I said, the elites, they know they're going to get a lot of kickback. And hey, a lot of guys that have served in the military, they've been talking about how, hey, if the government tries to come after their guns, man, it's gonna be a war, man. Because these guys are not going for it. So here it is that these Democrats are proposing this bill to basically take away the guns. All right. And like you said, man, you got to ask yourself, man, is the government preparing to do something that, they know is going to get a backlash? You got to ask yourself these things, because I was watching on that same note, I saw another video by Dave Hodges, and he mentioned how basically out there in, I think it was like a city hall in New York City, how they were taking down a Thomas Jefferson statue and hauling it off to be disposed of. And which that's a signifier because, Thomas Jefferson, going into the Bill of Rights and, the Constitution and all that stuff, but here it is, they're taking that statue down. So, and that's one thing that, because you still got the people, the American citizens, because of the pride of their heart, all right, they still think they got rights. They still believe in the constitutional rights and all that stuff, which is just a piece of paper. You see, the elites, man, they're going to do away with all that. All right. And as the saying goes, man, you're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy. So, these devils, man, they're plotting something. Because on that note, going into this guy, Bill Gates, here it is. And you always gotta ask yourself when they come up with these predictions, all right. You gotta ask yourself how were they able to come up with these predictions? Because pretty much they control the narrative, all right. As I read, the power's in their hand; they can do whatever they want. Because going into this guy Bill Gates, man, he was pretty much talking about an outbreak of smallpox disease, and I saw the video by the Apostle Tahar, man, going into how basically they and I gotta be careful how I say this, because YouTube, man, supposedly they found like something about syringes filled with the smallpox disease. Supposedly they found these syringes in facilities that contain the Crown Royale, all right. This so-called thing that's going on around the world, right? They found these syringes or whatever in these facilities that had to do with this disease that's going on, this plague that's going on around the world, And here it is, this guy Bill Gates is pretty much predicting a smallpox outbreak, which supposedly smallpox was eradicated, it was done away with, right? But just more things you gotta question and you gotta ask yourself, and also on that note, because they pretty much were talking about how I saw something somewhere about how they spent billions of dollars on the Vanessa for the smallpox, right? And they pretty much have it on standby, right? And again, just more things that you gotta question. You gotta ask yourself. They got the Vanessa on standby for the smallpox disease. Because they're preparing for an outbreak, basically. You see, and like I said, you gotta ask yourself how are they able to come up with these predictions if they're not controlling the narrative? If they're not, working behind the scenes or whatnot, So here it is. Like I said, with this whole Vanessa campaign, and they got Vanessa on they got Vanessa for the smallpox on standby, and here it is, certain parts like in Australia and other places, because it's not just Australia, all right. There's other places they're going back on full lockdown, right? Which that's coming to America, Babylon the Great, very soon. All right, they're gonna come after your livelihoods more and more. All right, life is about to get very uncomfortable for all of us, right? And here it is, they're tightening the grip, man. And not only that, I'm gonna just touch on this situation with this what's his name, Darren Brooks, right? Which they're when you look at the information, man, they're tying him into basically terrorism. All right, which I probably shouldn't have said that word, but it is what it is. I'm gonna get this real quick. Play this video.
Streets, whether it be by vehicle or by jab. You also need to look at this connection. This man is a self-described black Israelite. Now, what this is...
Now, this is talking about the guy that, because if I'm not mistaken, the last I seen, the death toll was supposedly it's up to 6 people now, but going into this guy in Wisconsin, what's this place, man? Waukesha, right? Where the guy drove the van, and ran through the crowd. I think his name is Darren Brooks. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was protesters in this whole Britain, not protesters, but basically people celebrating with the whole, Kyle Rittenhouse situation. You had people, I think it was in his defense, right? I think they were cheering or whatever, if I'm not mistaken. You had this guy supposedly, run through the crowd or whatnot. So this is some information, because somehow, some way, man, it's just a matter of time before they link the Hebrew Israelites and the ministry, to terrorism. All right, and it's just a matter of time before they come against the saints, man. So this is in regards to this guy, Darren Brooks, or Darrell Brooks, whatever his name
is a group that believes they are the true Jews. This is his words. This is on November 13, 2015. He posted this poster with text on it that has Adolf Hitler on it that says, "Hitler knew who the real Jews were." Now, he said this is the real...
Because of this post that he posted a while ago on the social media, they're connecting him to the black, quote unquote, black Hebrew Israelites, in which we're not black. All right. But, his play on of words, all right, how he says things, all right, which again is more enchantments, all right. Like I said, because of this post, him basically glorifying Hitler, and, which a lot of this stuff, this information that's coming out, like I said, is, they're linking it to, they're trying to link it to, because I'm going to get this. Because like I said, the elites that be, they know that their time is coming to an end. The times of the Gentiles is being fulfilled. All right. So, like I said before, the walls are coming down on him. And, he knows it. He sees it. So what's he going to try to do? He's going to try to blame everyone else. But even more so in this case, Jacob. And that's why I'm going to read this in Revelation 12. It says, verse 10, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power and the power of his Mashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night." All right. Because he's known as the accuser of of the brothers, man, accuser of our brethren. All right. And you see, because here it is, Esau, man, he creates these conditions to where basically Jake almost has no choice but to go off, and he accuses us before the Heavenly Father, man. You see, here it is, they put pork in everything, right? And I'm talking about damn nearly everything, man. Everything contain, almost everything that we deal with on a daily basis. But especially what we consume, man, it contains pork, man. And here it is. Esau does that purposely, and then he, tries to accuse us before Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Like you see, man, your people, man, they're going off. This is what he does. All right. So, I'll play some more of this.
Real thing right here. This is research. Clearly this man has some foreign ideologies. Clearly this man has some specific motivations. I can't be stupid enough just to believe what the police have said, that there is no evidence. What have we just shown you? This man's connection to the black Israelites is interesting because, again, if you think back to the Cummington boys, the ones that were protesting...
See, man, because, over the years, they've been building this case against the Hebrew Israelites, and try to paint this negative picture. And the time is going to come where, hey, man, something's going to happen to where, like I said, they're going to paint this narrative that to everyone that you see, man, these Hebrew Israelites, man, they're violent. All right. When one thing, man, because, no one teaches to, or you don't have Hebrew Israelites going out there and shooting up places, you know, and just being niggards like that. You have some in some camps or whatnot, they may get carnal or whatever, but as far as like on a mass level, where like I said, you got camps out there going out there and just shooting people and committing mass genocide. You don't that's not going on. But nevertheless, because he's the accuser, all right, he has to paint this narrative of the Hebrew Israelites in the negative light, being the bad guy, so to say. And you see, man, like I said, just because he made this post a couple of years ago, they're trying to link him when nowhere does he mention he's a Hebrew Israelite. But this is what they're trying to set up. They're trying to set up this narrative, right?
Crowd, and I noticed some.
According to this report, there are 5 dead, 40 wounded, and 18 children who are fighting for their lives right now. Any sane American who's seen that video of that SUV plowing through the crowd, they're not buying this motive that this is just a random act. They're not buying this motive that he was fleeing from a knife attack. And why don't you hear it right from someone who's an eyewitness to this mayhem? His name is Thomas Kluka. This man threw his daughter out of the way to save her from this madman. And he absolutely knows that vehicle is coming right for them.
And I noticed him coming through the crowd, and I noticed something was not right. And then I seen kind of like just people flying as I stood up. I'm like, oh no. My daughter stood up. I threw her out of the way, and then I basically yelled, get out of the way. And my wife got out of the way, and by the time she did, the car came right past me. Within at least 2 feet. I could have touched the car going by. If I had to get hit, I had to get hit. It was just making sure they got out of the way. I mean, where we were sitting and there was a float between us and the curb, he made an effort to come towards us because he wanted to get around the float and just, I don't know if it was to hit as many people as he can, or I don't know what the senseless intention was other than just going the speed that he did.
You heard it from an eyewitness. You heard it from this reporter. You've seen real evidence, real facts. Now it's for you to make up that decision in your mind. What are you going to do when a madman comes to a Christmas parade near you while kids are playing jingle bells? You already know what you're going to do. And Americans need to start standing up for what they believe in. Reporting.
So you see that, man? The play on the words, right? This man, he's a crafty devil, man. All right, and like I said, soon, they're going to set up to where the Hebrew Israelites, man, they're going to be to blame for whatever, and we got to do something about these Hebrew Israelites, man. They teach hate, they're bullies, and whatever they say, man. But nevertheless, the point being, the persecution is coming, and I said this to my brother the other day, man, about this truth, man. It's bittersweet, for a while, we've been indulged in the sweet, finding out that we are Hebrew Israelites, and we're the people of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, so on and so forth. But now we're coming into the bitter. You see, and hey, people are going to start talking against us, man. People are going to start looking at us different, as if they're not already. But the time is going to come where, hey, man, things are going to get tense, man. Brothers might be out there in camping. Hey, you might have people, trying to, start something with the prophets, man. Trying to start something with the men of the Lord. And, hey, you're going to start seeing people be more confrontational and, all type of stuff, teaching this truth. People are going to, start looking at you even more differently, because like I said, when you come into the truth, you already pretty much become different. You pretty much detach. But like I said, the time is going to come where people are going to become more confrontational and in some cases violent, division, right? Which the Lord said, man, he came not to send peace but a sword, man. He came, this truth, it causes division. You see, and that stuff is only going to ramp up. So hey, I'm just saying this as a man, a lot of Jake, man, they're I think they're gonna start falling out, man, because of the heat, man. You're gonna have heat come down against the ministry, and brothers that aren't built up, because you have a lot of these camps, man. They're not, yeah, they're teaching Jake, but for the most part, but they're not really building Jake up, in Yahweh Shema Shai, because it's just one thing to teach Jake that they're Jake, but teach Jake that they're Israel, but like I said, a lot of camps, man, they're not getting into Jacob's trouble, and preparing them, here it is, you got camps, man, basically sowing that seed of doubt and making their congregations question the validity of certain books and whatnot, questioning whether we should be worshiping Yahweh Shai and whatnot. And this is not the time, by all means, to be questioning and moving forward into Jacob's trouble with any form of doubt, because the scriptures say, man, if you matter of fact, let me get that if I can find it, right? Because don't expect to receive anything from Yahweh Shema Shai and you have doubt in your heart. You're not going to get anything. Let's see if I can find that. I think that's James chapter 1. James chapter 1. I'll start at verse. Because you see, man, like I said, we've been catching so much hell and tribulation, and that's the Lord. He's been building us up, to be able to withstand in that time. Because the scriptures go into how, amen, those that stand boldly for Yahweh Shema Shai, all right. Even when the pressure's on, man, and the heat comes down against the ministry, and Esau, he's presented, he's painted this narrative that the Hebrew Israelites, man, they're terrorists, and so on and so forth. Only the real men of Yahweh Shema Shai are going to stand up against all odds, man, and they're going to continue to teach this word, and preach this testimony of Yahweh Shai, right? James chapter 1. Verse 2 says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations." Because again, I believe it tells you that in Job, man. Job, with all the hell that he caught, even, he understood that, it wasn't for his demise. It wasn't for his complete, utter destruction, that's how we got to be, man. Because when we're put in these adverse situations, it's not the Lord, just being a bully, man. No, he's chastening us. He's building us up. All right, he's dealing with us as sons, all right, and building us up so that we can withstand. You see, we've been going through all these test runs, all right, these trial tests, and now we're coming into the final test, man. We're coming to the end all be all, man. All right. So, like I said, when we're going these diverse temptations, we know that, hey, this is Yahweh Shema Shai. He's pretty much he's dealing with us, man. He's building us up. It says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Because, hey, the time is going to come where our faith is going to be put to the ultimate test. You see, and we've been getting that pretty much all of our lives before the truth and, in the truth, man. Our faith has been being built up to when that time comes and that hour of temptation befalls us. All right. We're not going to fold. We're not going to give in. It says, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Because the scriptures say, through sufferings we are made perfect, right? It says, verse 5, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given. But let him ask in faith, not wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. So if you're wishy-washy, all right, if you have any ounce of doubt, then hey, verse 7, it says, for let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. So hey, if you're, like I said, this is definitely not the time coming into to Jacob's trouble. Here it is. Like I said, they're pretty much, hey man, they're about to shut things back down. All right. You know, 'cause like I said, life is for all of us is about to be very, very uncomfortable. All hell's getting ready to break loose, and this is not the time to be, proceeding into Jacob's trouble, with any type of doubt. All right, because if you doubt, then hey man, the Lord, you're not going to get anything from the Lord. All right, when a famine hits, and you don't know how you're going to eat, and your wife and your kids are starving, right? Hey, if you're one of those that doubt, then you and your family, hey, y'all, you could possibly die of starvation, man. The Lord might allow you to witness your family starve to death. And you see, all you have to do is just, put your trust in Yahweh Shema Shai, that, because it's nothing for the Lord, man. During the time of famine, to defeat his servants, it's nothing for the Lord, man. You read about how, was that Habakkuk, how the Lord teleported Habakkuk to provide food to where Daniel was at, right? I mean, and you read about how birds, feeding the men of the Lord, and, all these different accounts, man. There's nothing for the Lord to do these things. So the fact that you have doubt, that's very dishonorable, man. That's very displeasing to the Lord, man. Because, hey, pretty much the Lord requires us to have faith, man. That's a big requirement from Yahweh Shem Shai. He wants our faith, you see. But if you're doubt, man, and this is what a lot of these camps, man, they're not getting into these things. They're not getting into Jacob's trouble. They're not building up their congregation, man. And sowing that seed of doubt, you see. And like I said, man, hey, the time is gonna come where, hey, man, the heat, the pressure is gonna be on, man. The heat is gonna be down on the ministry, right? Because hey, the time is gonna come where you're gonna have there's gonna be hits out on the men of the Lord. You're gonna see brothers' faces plastered on most wanted posters and stuff like that, man. But I wanted to get this in Acts, all right, because this is nothing new. Dealing with because basically Esau, he bears false witness against us, right? And it's nothing new. I'm gonna read this in Acts chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 11. It says they suborned men, which basically goes into bribery. It says then they suborned men, which said, we have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God. And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes and came upon him and caught him and brought him to the council and set up false witnesses, which said, this man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against the holy place and the law. For we have heard him say that this Yahushua of Nazareth shall destroy this place and shall change the customs which Moses delivered us. And all that sat in the council, looking steadfastly on him, saw his face as it had been the face of an angel. So, just one of many accounts of how, hey, bearing false witness, lying against the ministry, trying to see if, who was this particular account dealing with. Because I don't know if it was just one of the disciples or all of the disciples, but nevertheless, the point being with so I think this is dealing with Stephen. Matter of fact, when you read verse 8, it says, and Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people. And you see, it's spiritual because like I've said before, man, we're living in the time of Acts, and during this time there was a lot of heavy persecution going on against the disciples, as well as the miracles being performed, right? And you see, when brothers start performing miracles, right? Hey, they're gonna say that brothers is the witchcraft and stuff like that, man. Black magic, they're gonna bear all type of false witness against the men of the Lord in this time, right? But like Stephen, it said, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people. So you see, because Stephen, he got stoned to death, right? When he was presented before, the synagogue and the modern day judges and whatnot, just to put it in, modern terms, when he was presented in the courthouse and the judges or whatnot, all right, he didn't fold, he didn't bend over. No, man, he got stoned to death, but nevertheless, hey, he was put to death, but hey, he was a man of faith and he still held on to his integrity. All right, he didn't fold, he didn't give in to the pressure. All right, he didn't run away from the heat, man. He dealt with it. You see, man, but nevertheless, man, like I said, hey, Esau, he's going to paint this narrative, right, to demonize the ministry and come against the saints, right? And, hey, we got to be ready to deal with that heat, man. So, yeah, man, just a few things going on, man, because like I read, man, hey, these devils, they don't go to sleep without plotting something. They wake up plotting something, devising mischief, right? I'm going to get this because, hey, like I said, very interesting times that we're in. We got to be real spiritual and how we walk, how we move, how we act, how we talk, everything, man. Everything has to be spiritual. We can't be walking around like these people out here, man. Because I'm going to get this. Because like I said, hey, Esau, he's a crafty devil, man. He knows how to put things out there to make people feel a certain way or think a certain way and even act a certain way, But you see, the men of the Lord, the elect, they're not going to, fall for the shenanigans. I'm going to read this in Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 5. I'll read verse 8. It says, "For you were sometimes darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of the light." All right. Because this world and everyone in it, they're covered in that gross darkness, right? That ignorance, because Jake, for the most part, they don't know what's going on. They have no idea what's going on. Did you see? Hey, the Lord put his spirit on certain men. All right. They're not going to be consumed in that darkness. All right. And, this is the power of this truth, man. The power of this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The power of the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. I'm going to read this in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 4. It says, "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief in the night." Because like I said, being on the watch, hey, if you're paying attention, if you're prepared for these things, if you stay ready, you don't have to be ready. So the fact that, hey, for the most part, we're watching, man. We know this devil's up to something. It's just a matter of time, before he acts. And it's just, all hell breaks loose from there. But nevertheless, because we're on our watch and we're walking in light, this truth, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that day's not going to take us as a thief of the night, Lord's will. Verse 5, "Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of the darkness." So, like I said, because, hey, Jake, they don't know what's going on and they don't know what's getting ready to happen. Jake thinks that things are going to get back to quote unquote normal. All I got to do is take the Vanessa and, we're going to get back to 2019. No, man. Right. This place is through. All right. In verse 6 says, "Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober." All right. So again, watching. All right. We're clear headed. Right. We're sane. Right. And our head is going to be on our shoulders when the Lord does bring, when he gives Esau the green light to do what he's got to do, right? The men of the Lord, hey, they're going to be straight. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read this last one, all right? Because again, touching back on this persecution, I'm going to read this in Isaiah 53, because this is what we can expect, man, This is what we can expect, because again, Esau, the fact that the windows, the walls are coming down on him, all right, he's going to do everything in his power to put us in a negative light, right? And Yahushai, hey, I'm gonna read this because the servant is not greater than the master. You know, our Lord Yahweh Shai, he went through this. It says, Isaiah 53:12, it says, therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he hath poured out his soul unto death. And he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for their transgressors. So, like I said, Yahweh Shai, because this whole chapter is talking about Yahweh Shai. It said he was numbered with the transgressors, right? And here it is, you know, when Yahweh Shai walked as Yahweh Shai, he didn't commit no sin. But here it is, you know, they made Yahweh Shai look so, you know, they demonized him so much, right? You even had Jake, man. Jake was like, man, kill this nigga, man. We don't want, you know, we don't want nothing to do with him, you know? So, hey, this is what's going to happen, man. They're going to number us. Like I said, like I read, he's an accuser of our brethren, right? He's going to number us to the transgressors, man. He's going to paint this negative light to where, you know, the Hebrew Israelites, man, they're the reason for all the, you know, bad things and so on and so forth, man. So, you know, got to be ready for that. But nevertheless, just want to speak on these few things. The devil is definitely up to something. He's plotting something, you know, and like I said, it's just a matter of time, you know, before this ball really gets rolling, man. So stay in the watch, man. Be sober, pray, you know, and hopefully this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barakathum to you sincere believers. Lord's willing, till next time, Shalom.